Does your child have low muscle tone or language delay, or do they walk on their toes? Does it seem like their body just doesn't have enough energy? Creatine might be an important amino acid for you to know about. Hi, I'm Dr. Teresa Lyons. I teach parents the cutting edge science of autism so that you can make the best decision for your child based on quality information. There have been cases in the literature where the child's autism symptoms are actually caused by a comorbidity. Let's learn the basics of this important amino acid. Let me go get my slides so you can see what I'm talking about. And if you find this video to be helpful, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel to get the cutting edge scientific information about autism so that you can make the best decision for your child based on quality information.
Creatine and autism. Here's a warning that this is an advanced topic. Have you taken the basic steps? No? Then certainly listen to this video so you know about creatine, but take action on the basic steps first. And I'll give some specific examples towards the end. Indications of need of creatine. After taking the basic steps, creatine is used when there is low muscle tone, language delay, deficient expressive speech, certain seizures, and toe walking. And when I'm talking about creatine here, I know it's used often with bodybuilders and those who are really trying to build muscle. And you could see where there's some overlap in that. But the creatine that we're talking about today in this video is autism specific, not bodybuilding. What is creatine? Creatine is an amino acid that is involved in energy transfer for muscle and brain cells. It's important to understand that creatine impacts both. When creatine is given as a supplement for those with autism, it doesn't give energy. Creatine is a long distance energy carrier. There is a very fine difference. And here's the structure of creatine, if you wanted to know what that looked like. Creatine issue or comorbidity. So this is where we're starting to get more granular in this quite advanced step. So creatine deficiency syndrome is an inherited metabolic disorder that is not included in routine newborn screening panels or in standard, and standard is underlined, autism diagnostic workup. The standard really depends on the doctor that you're working with. Some doctors are extremely thorough and want to do a variety of different tests before making the autism diagnosis. Or if you're working with a functional medicine doctor and you have the diagnosis already, they are going to be very thorough when they're doing the diagnostic workup. So this certainly could be found in the beginning. However, creatine metabolic pathway may play a part in certain symptoms for certain people with autism, and it would be a non-CDS, so a non-comorbidity creatine issue. So certain things in people's bodies don't work optimally, but that might not necessarily qualify it as a comorbidity, as a separate diagnosis. So this is where we're really fine-tuning. We're getting very granular with the body chemistry. Creatine and autism. There have been clinical trials looking to understand creatine levels and autism, but nothing conclusive has been found. There's also been some genetic studies trying to understand gene mutations and the impact on creatine, but there's nothing conclusive. There are no research studies on the impact of giving a person with autism creatine, right? And this kind of makes sense because this is an advanced step and it wouldn't make sense to do a non-specific clinical trial on the impact of creatine in someone with autism. You would end up wasting probably several millions of dollars. So since it is an advanced step, it's not really studied much in those with autism, in the sense of giving a supplement and seeing what happens. Lab testing, blood and urine tests for creatine deficiency are not very predictive, and that's just because of the way the body metabolizes creatine. So just to put this in reference, vitamin D, right? Everyone likes to measure their vitamin D results. It's important to do twice a year. The blood test for vitamin D is technically not testing for vitamin D. It's testing for a metabolite of vitamin D. So the blood and urine test for creatine, it's hard to have an accurate and predictive test just because the body metabolizes creatine in a little bit of a complex way. Diagnosis of brain creatine deficiency is done by proton magnetic resonance spectroscopy, MRS, and that is not the same as an MRI. So this is another reason why creatine is more of an advanced step, because if your child can't stay still, it will be very difficult to do the MRS, and you might have to do sedation, and is sedation really worth it when you're getting this granular? So it's obviously a decision for the parent or the person to make themselves, but just to explain to you why creatine is not a basic step. It could be a very important step for your child, but it's typically not a basic step. So a little bit more as to why this is an advanced step. Phosphorylation of creatine is inhibited by mercury. Not every person with autism has high levels of mercury, but it would be best to help the body get rid of any stored mercury rather than trying to supplement with a lot of creatine, right? So it's all about getting to the root cause. And toxins also impact the creatine transporter system. So if you haven't done a focus on detoxing, if it's necessary, right, there are different tests to answer. Does my child really need to focus on detoxing? But this is why it's an advanced step, and those are basic steps. So doing a detox, those are done before you would consider supplementing with creatine. And it's really best to get at the root cause of health issues and not try to overcome things by supplementing, right? Because when does supplementing end? If you haven't got at the root cause, you're always going to have to be supplementing. And that's not what you want for your child. That's not optimal health. Right? So you want to get at the root cause of the health issue and not have it be a focus on supplementing. So this is why creatine is more of an advanced step. A lot of the basic steps could really impact in a positive way creatine so that you wouldn't even have to supplement. So basic steps important to focus on first when it comes to creatine.